Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Timothée. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Timothée, and this week we watched Wonka, starring Timothée Chalamet, Hugh Grant, and all these other, and a bunch of other people, but also story and directed by Paul King of Paddington fame. And this is obviously a prequel to the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka film. And right off the bat, I think this film was great. I think the songs were great. The sets were great. I think that it was super wondrous and really pretty to look at. I think that the jokes were really funny. The film was just overall really, really fun and really, really enjoyable. And I just had a fun time all the way through. And before I go on a whole rant or tangent about how much I love this film, I'll tell you why I love this film and more. Back to house.
I got an idea.
Where do we start?
Making chocolate, of course.
I guess it's time to change the world.
Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm Jonathan HD, and this week we watched Wonka, the companion piece prequel to the original 1971 classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Timothée Chalamet, starring Timothée Chalamet, Keegan-Michael Key, and Hugh Grant, where Timothée Chalamet plays a younger version of Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. He plays a younger, more upbeat, chipper, less jaded version of Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. All the while, he is being hunted down by his rival candymen like Slugworth, who we get to see for the first time, aside from just agents hired by him, which I think is pretty cool to see Slugworth. I think that was pretty cool. And by the way, if you did not know, this is a Paul King film, and if you don't know who that is, Paul King is actually the guy who made the Paddington movies. Really, really good movies. So, just really good. And going into this movie, I expected it to be good. I didn't go into it expecting it was going to be a musical, I didn't go into it expecting it was going to be a musical, but even when it, I didn't go into expecting it to be a musical, but the musical bits were really, really solid. I really liked all the musical bits. I don't think there was one I didn't like. Plus, one thing, one of the movie's biggest strong suits were the running gags. Right, I think the film's biggest strong suit was its comedy. This movie was really funny. And, it just, they, were dedicated to the jokes. And that's something I can respect. If there was a gag that they started building up, they kept building it up, and it paid off at the end of the movie. Keegan-Michael Key's character, for example. His character is established early on to be obsessed with candy. He loves candy, right? Loves it. He's got one hell of a sweet tooth, right? And eventually he's corrupt, and he makes a deal with the bad guys and Slugworth and the chocolate cartel, they like to call them in the movie, where they'll give him a lifetime supply, 18,000 boxes of chocolate or something crazy like that. So he'll try to murder Willy Wonka. And then, as that goes on, as it's established that, with every scene he's in, he gets fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter until eventually, by the end of the film, he can't even get out of his car. There's just wrappers falling out of his car, and he's, struggling to get out. He's, so fat, and it's so hilarious. And, literally, Keegan-Michael Key was so funny because that gag, it was just, a visual gag, right? It wasn't even, really, and it was just super funny. And then also there was another joke between a security guard who worked at the zoo and a security guard that worked at the underground bunker of the chocolate cartel. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was also really funny, and it paid off really well at the end. Stuff mattered. You paid attention, and for paying attention you were rewarded with funny jokes, good gags, and just overall really, heartwarming stuff. This film was just lighthearted all the way through. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I think this film was, like, its tone, I think, was perfectly matched the entire way through. It was super goofy, fantastical, whimsical, but also it was kind of like, it was like, you know, very visually, like, popped out. Obviously, being a Willy Wonka film, it should be. But, like, so much of the film was just, like, you looked at it, and it's a stunning film. Like, the sets were amazing. Most of it was practical. And it just, like, as I said, the music was great. Like, I think there was only, like, a couple jokes that didn't land, or there was, like, a couple things, like, nitpicks I have here and there. But overall, I found this film incredibly enjoyable. And just, like, I don't even want to spoil too much, because I would definitely recommend you to watch this film. But yeah, the story is pretty simple. You know, it's the uprise of Willy Wonka. So he wants to make candy, hits a couple roadblocks, makes some friends, and him and his friends help build his candy empire. All the while, the film starts to, like, plant the seeds for how Wonka, you know, develops his relationship, his good relations with the Oompa Loompas he has. You know what I mean? How he started to become friends with the Oompa Loompas, where he got the factory. You know, his motivation for wanting to be a Candyman in the first place. Well, not a Candyman, a Candy Maker. Candyman and Candy Makers are different, because there's the... But anyway. But yeah, the reason he wanted to be a candy maker, and, you know, it's like his backstory with his mother, and how she used to make, like, the best chocolate, and she made Wonka chocolate, and he wanted to, you know, have it be like the old days. He wanted to, you know, make his mother proud, you know, he wanted to do all that, and you wanted to see Wonka succeed, even though you know he does, because obviously he has a chocolate factory in the next movie, because it's called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but whatever. And yeah, I just think that the film was just very, very, very enjoyable and very fun all the way through. Highly, highly recommend it. Just overall, if you're a fan of the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, you'll love this film, or I think you would. I did, and I love the original Willy Wonka. I think it's an amazing film, and this, too, I think is really, really good. So definitely watch it if you're a Wonka fan, and even if you're not, I think you could definitely get some enjoyment out of it. You know, the musical numbers are all great. I think Chalamet's acting as, like, this bubbly, oblivious Willy Wonka is really, really enjoyable, you know, before he became all stoic and jaded. But, yeah, it's just enjoyable. And overall, I think I'd rate this film an 8 out of 10. Very, very good, and highly, highly recommend it. And, yeah. I think I said all I need to say. I think I said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share, friend, subscribe, turn notifications on. Comment down below how much you liked it. But you guys know how these goes. I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say was that if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, dislike, tell me, hate me in the comments. And I've been Running Time HD. Off to a world of pure imagination. Signing off. Oompa, oompa, doopa dee dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me. I am an Oompa Loompa singing a song. I can't remember the lyrics to these things at all. Oompa, oompa, doopa dee dee.